There's so many Americans, right, that I've seen here, and I came here 5 years ago, right?
Right.
Worked at Chick-fil-A, AT&T, taking phone calls, right?
Right.
The same Black and African Americans that are there.
They don't want that job.
Comfortable, but they don't want the job. But they're like, how to put this? Accepting it.
Right.
I was like, fuck this shit. I don't want to be here forever.
Right.
I got an exit plan to get out of this place. But like you're right. Like you said, most kind of like settle for it, and they've been brainwashed to being like, you know what, this is my life, and that's it. It can't get any better.
Right.
That's
Or they
all
try
that
to
is
break
to
out
it.
with something negative to get the quick fix.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sell some
Scamming,
drugs.
drugs.
Little do they know if they hustled a job or hustled their own shit for 5 years, they have that real freedom they're looking for.
Correct.
That 1 year of selling drugs, getting that quick money,
Correct.
nigga, no one lasts that long.
I'm gonna bring this back on topic, and the reason why I feel that is because they're missing that masculinity. They're missing those father figures to teach them the value of hard work, to teach them patience. You got too many Americans in general, but it started mostly in our community where motherfuckers want to look rich more than they want to be rich.
I feel like a father figure also gives respect. Because guys without, a lot of guys without father figures, not all of them, but a lot of them, they don't have respect for women.
I would love to know, Organic, did you have a father figure?
No, I didn't. I had no figure. I just said it was something in me.
What's up, YouTube gang? It's your boy Allende from Authentic Alphas. And according to some lazy-minded critics, I'm a white apologist. I'm not even sure what the hell that's supposed to mean, but I've been accused of hating black women because I don't interview them or bring them on the show, bring them on the podcast. When I actually ask more black women than anything else to do interviews, and they either don't want to do it or they expect to get paid, and I'm not begging or paying a chick to do anything. But anyway, I decided to go ahead and do a review on what has been called the most meaningful episode on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and it just happens to be an episode that I headed up where I interview a full panel of all black females to discuss issues in the black community, as well as the relationship between black men and women. So let's go ahead and
I ain't got to step out my own element. I can still be me. And that's what me and my dog Tall Guy came to do. And we doing that. Our purpose is here. It's in not going anywhere.
But correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't have a father figure.
No, I didn't.
Exactly. So I'm saying you don't
That's
need.
one in a million.
I don't feel
You're
like
talking
it's
about the men
million.
that you're looking at compared to the majority.
Right, exactly.
That's
It's
what we're
the
talking
majority,
about.
but I don't feel
One
like
pizza out of the whole
I
pizza
feel like
pie.
Organic had the mindset. It wasn't just because he didn't have he's the one in a million.
Okay, wait.
A lot of people can be that. They
So
just
the
it's the
mind-
mindset.
The mindset comes from like actually having the father.
But he didn't
figure.
have it.
No, I'm saying, but he decided to look at people
Exactly.
who
He
did. Like
studied-
he went
he
and
studied
not saying that
masculinity.
he found the father
studied
figure,
people.
but he studied other people that he wanted to be like.
Right.
So that's kind of like
Same thing.
mentality
That's a fact.
and
Yeah.
father
So
figure.
I studied, like I said, I studied those like dictators. I studied history, and then on top of that, I did look at the Master P's, the Easy E's, and even MC Hammers. I looked at niggas that was hustling the right way. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ooh, nigga, you can sell anything and make money.
Right.
I don't got to sell drugs, and this shit is legal. I can just put my logo on a T-shirt and get 10 friends to wear it, and then get 20 friends to wear it, and it gets to 100 people. Now I make $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
Goddamn, I'm making more than a doctor. Oh shit! Now I can add a sweater. Oh shit!
Right.
I'm like, I don't need no drugs. That shit kind of dumb when I got this.
But I'm not-
Because see,
You don't sell drugs. Drugs sell themselves.
Right. That's a fact.
You know what's the funny part here is that you don't know what you don't know until you know. So that means like, yes, you're saying that they can automatically get that mindset, but think about this.
You can't automatically get it, but
But no, that's what you're saying though, because once again, he studied people that were mentors to him
Right.
as fathers. He basically saw other people, made an example out of them as a father. My father wasn't in my life, but I saw my granddad. He worked hard from the seed.
From the
You know what I'm
seed.
saying?
My
Built
grandfather
himself
worked
up and made his way. So technically speaking, yes, I get what you're saying, but in reality, most people will never have opportunity
extremely
to know
fortunate.
what
Extremely
to do.
fortunate.
Okay, as you can see, Mr. Organic was the centerpiece of this episode, pretty much because I have been wanting to do it for the longest, and Myron wasn't interested in doing anything like this whatsoever. But according to people, I don't ever bring black girls on the show, and I only like white women. First of all, I don't even primarily date white women. Majority of my girlfriends have been Latin women. And the reason why I don't date black women primarily is because they're not cooperative, bro. They're not, doesn't give me the type of dynamic that I'm looking for in a relationship. So I'm not gonna struggle with a quote unquote black woman to prove anything to anyone. I'm gonna deal with who I have the best chemistry and best relationship with. Anyway, the first point right off the bat that we talked about is the fatherlessness in the black community. And that's what I think the biggest issue is in the black community, because we have a victim mentality. Much like women have been taught to have a victim mentality by feminism, the black community has been taught to have a victim mentality, I guess because of how race baiting and how race is marketed to us growing up in this country. So for all you idiots out there calling me a white apologist, just bring an argument that makes sense, okay? Because what I'm talking about is not focusing on racism, not focusing on white supremacy, and focusing on what you can do as an individual and what you can do within your community, because that is what's working for other people of dark complexions from other parts of the world. It's really easy to see that the people who don't waste their time focusing on racism are getting ahead in this country and taking advantage of all the opportunities that are here. And I think that message is not coming from single black mothers. That message tends to come from men that did whatever they had to do to establish themselves and provide decent lives for themselves, aside from the white supremacy and the ruling class and racism and whatever the hell else you want to blame failure on. But African people don't have a problem becoming successful in this country. I see many Haitian people don't have a problem. I'm Jamaican, and I've seen many Jamaicans come and make something of themselves, including the men in my family. So let's get to this.
And look, I'm telling you this as a black man myself, because I feel like most black guys that are around my age, like they're still partying, still doing dumb shit, and like they're lost.
What's your age? 30, 20?
I'm 28. So I was lucky to find a mentor.
You know why? Lack of criticism.
Yeah. That's
because my grandfather used to always critique and criticize me. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Hold on.
I feel like everybody has a choice.
Growing up, nobody's validation meant anything to me about my grandfather and my uncles.
Right.
Because they was all stand-up dudes. They was all strong men. And they all had different qualities. You know what I'm saying? My favorite uncle, he went to the military. You see what I'm saying? My grandfather, he came over here as a carpenter. That was his trade. He used to ride a bike 14 miles. 7 miles to and 7 miles from. An apprenticeship to learn to be a carpenter. So what he did was, he didn't have his father either. But he found a positive man to work under. You see what I'm saying? To learn, because his plan was to get to this country, right? And when he got here, he dibbled and dabbled in real estate. He bought homes out of foreclosure.
So that's pretty much the point that both me and Fresh, CEO of Nothing, was making, is that as foreigners, first generation being raised in this country, we saw how other men from our homeland were able to come and make something of themselves, starting with zero, with nothing. So it's really hard to hide behind the excuse of racism holding you down and keeping you down, when there are people coming from other countries with absolutely nothing, some not even speaking the language, and being able to work their way up to something. So, pursuing the American dream, I think, is something that is entitled to everyone, regardless of the color of your skin. Those are just obstacles, bro. They're just obstacles. Get over them. And I also want to point out that when, Fresh isn't faking the funk, the show it can be a good show. The problem is, like I was saying, the lack of criticism. Not being able to criticize people, in a sense, it limits them. If you can work well with constructive criticism, you can really make something happen, because you know what adjustments need to be made. So I never had a problem with Fresh up until all of the fronting and all the lying. That's the issue. There's nothing wrong with being a lame, or there's nothing wrong with being a nerd, or whatever. Everybody has their value, but you have to be genuine to yourself. You got to be authentic. And I say that because people are like, oh, you think you're an alpha? You do this, bro. Whoa, time out. Show me where I ever referred to myself as an alpha. That word never even came into my vocabulary until my mid-30s. I spent my entire life without ever thinking about the word alpha or what it meant. The reason why I use that is because what I'm saying is that we all need to be pursuing authenticity. And in that authenticity comes alpha. Knowing yourself, being able to follow to a point where you get good enough to be able to lead, those are the qualities of an alpha. So my channel's name was never about calling myself an alpha. That's why it's plural, you morons. Authentic alphas. It's a mindset.
Thank you, brother. Marcus B. Yoromasi, $20 says, statistically, African immigrants do economically better than African Americans. It's a culture issue in America. Our responsibility, no finger pointing. The culture of racism is the biggest impediment to us.
That's a fucking fact.
There you go.
Let that shit go, nigga.
Yeah, just let it go, guys. $10.25 says, these women are way different than Slim, and those are the type of distasteful sisters us men don't like. Okay. MK47, welcome, Slim. The real Slim.
As you can see, that person that dropped that super chat, as well as Mr. Organic, Fresh CEO, and myself as well all agree that racism is something that holds black people back. And black men, or any men for that matter, do not have the luxury of sitting around calling themselves victims. That's just what it is. So for you guys out there saying, like, I had a consult just recently and the guy was like telling me he had issues with confrontation and he wanted to be better at being prepared and dealing with confrontation. A lot of his lack of self-esteem comes from his height. And because of that lack of self-esteem, he ended up becoming overweight. So you just compounded being only 5'7" with now also being morbidly obese. Okay, you can't change your height. We all know that. But I know plenty of short guys that are living their life. They're happy, they're content, they're successful because they did the best with the cards that they were dealt. Life isn't about getting good cards, getting great cards. Life is about playing your hand to the best of your ability. That's what it's about. And as what the to go ahead and hit on what the super chat said about the females, I don't think there's this type of black female and that type of black female and these are unruly and those are unruly. The ones that are unruly just need structure and discipline. That's what's
the main reason why black women are so unattractive to a lot of men is because too many of them have a masculine demeanor and tone, not to mention your combative nature. And I'm not saying all black women are like this, but it's too damn many. Well, I mean,
I hear them.
I agree.
I'll leave that.
I mean, black women always bow down to me. I never had no problem with no black women.
And that comes from the lack of masculinity.
It can definitely go.
That's how the lack of fathers affect
It's
the
because you come with that. You come with that. Like, let me just let's sit down.
The God, they know the God when they see one, and I'm one of them. All aspects of life.
Yeah, that conversation can definitely go both ways.
I was about to say.
Always.
Boo Y $20 says this is hands down the best episode. The conversation has elevated. These are the talks we gotta have if we want to fix the issues with this country. I personally believe split up of the family was done on purpose by the government.
It's a fact.
That's
why I'm at with it.
Absolutely. These are definitely the talks that we need to have. Now, when it comes to the black women being masculine, well, there's a lot of black dudes that got bitch energy. There's a lot of you, especially the ones that be whining and talking about, oh, you're a white apologist, because I'm telling black men that racism is not big enough to hold them back, especially not modern racism. Racism today, think about it. If the racism of the 30s, 40s, 50s, even as far back as the 20s couldn't stop the progression of blacks and black men making lives for themselves and becoming successful, then how the heck is the racism today gonna hold you back? What it is that the men back then were built different. That's what it was. So too many of y'all got bitch energy and you run around whining and complaining, calling yourself a victim. Well, that's what the women do, and the women are gonna fail with that mentality when they don't have strong men to guide them out of that victim narrative and to go ahead and be their quote unquote hero or whatever you want to call it. But every man should be the hero of his household. That's the point. You're dealing with the adversities of life and you're conquering them for yourself as well as your family. Stop bitching, be the hero. As far as black women having these attitudes, listen, I've gotten through to black women. Even the one that was on this panel, she tried to say some slick shit at me before the party started, and I put her in check real quick and got her moving smooth, got her engine running. And the reason why I was willing to put in that effort is because I need the episode to work. I need the episode to go smoothly so this conversation could be had. But in the grand scheme of things, I usually don't waste my time.
All the melanin on panel, love what's being shared. However, I hope you see another broadcast with heavy melanin, but less heavy subject, similar to other shows. Keep up the good work.
Nah, we got work
It all
to
has
do.
to be
Nah,
talked
we got
about.
work to do.
We got
work to do.
We gotta save our people, man.
Exactly.
We got Mark, you good? We got Phil here. $20 says mindset and personal choices are important, but the environment is the most powerful influence growing up. We gotta somehow change the environment.
Them peoples, whoever they may be, call them the elites, call them the 1%, I don't care what you want to call them, but those peoples, their goal is to break up the nuclear family. And they just happen to do it with black folks in America first. Their goal is to break up the family unit across the board for everyone. So we're falling for the fuckery. That's the issue. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, okay? And I'm not saying white supremacy doesn't exist in some fashion. What I really think is that the family being intact, that's the supremacy. That's what you want. You want your family being intact. You want husbands and wives to stay together. You want your family eating dinner as a family. And you want to do things as a unit, and you want to do everything with the family in mind. The bigger picture is the family, right? So that's just facts. If you're talking about something else, you're a damn lie. That whole It's nice to see a panel with melanated sisters, but we need to have lighter subject matter. Listen, that's another problem with the black community. We don't have the luxury of lighter subject matter, okay? We need to focus on the issues that are holding us back as individuals as well as collectively. We ain't got time to play right now. The black community is far too interested in entertainment and music and movies and all this silly goofy shit that just further degrades our collective, cultural image, right? So we're too wrapped up in things that subtract from our cultural image rather than focusing on things that improve our cultural image. And if you don't have a positive cultural image and you don't own anything as a culture, then you have no bargaining chips to come to the table. And therefore, you will not be respected by other nations and cultures. It's really not that hard to figure out. It's just economics.
Well, nigga, I get over there, they go crazy. They come here, it's simple. They got programs. We gotta do this. Go to school. They know what to do.
Yo, I saw people
These niggas
here
ain't taking advantage of it.
sleeping, bro. On the job is like, yo, y'all niggas sleeping? I'm more extra hard. And if we're extra
It's
hard,
crazy.
go
It's
whatever I
right.
wanted.
Yo, let me tell you something. At about the age, I remember the street that I was on. I was on 233rd and White Plains Road, right under the fucking 5 train. And I remember thinking to myself, at the time I was 19. I'm gonna tell you right now what's going through my brain. I was thinking to myself, yo, how is it that these niggas is born and raised here, right? And you see a motherfucker 3 years later, he be doing the same shit he was doing 3 years previously. Still selling your little bullshit dime bags of weed, still saving up to buy little punk ass Jordans, still taking the train, right? But you would see a Reffy, you see a Jamaican dude, right? Drop down in the Bronx, bummy. Everybody making fun of his clothes. Nigga, you wore the same thing 3 days in a row. Sneakers is raggedy. But you see that Jamaican nigga 3 years later, he pulling up in the BMW.
Benz.
He got a baby mama. He got his kids. Right? He making bread, he taking care of his family, and he got his little side bitches. And you be trying to figure this shit out. How he ran circles on you in 3 years? He ran circles on you. And you in the same spot on the same block with the same niggas doing the same shit. You let this man just level up on you. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's just an immigrant thing in general.
Yeah.
Gotta respect them. That's why I love Mexican culture too. Like them, I respect them. A lot of my friends growing up was Mexican. You know what I'm saying? And they used to take care of me when I was doing what I had to do. But it's like I just understand, and they stand for something. You know what I'm saying?
Family unit.
You
Bro.
fight one, you fight them all.
Yeah.
One eat, they all eat.
Yep.
You understand
They
me?
can
Like,
take a punch.
You got
They can
to
take a
respect
punch.
it, man. Yeah. So it's like I just wish we did better. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
we just gotta work hard.
That also is real talk, man. A lot of foreigners come here, they take advantage of our programs, they take advantage of our welfare, whatever, and they use these things to get ahead, but yet you have so-called black folk born and raised in this country and don't even know that these programs or these options are even available to them. You know what I mean? But they know their favorite rapper's birthday. They know all the drama going on between this person and that person. They know everything about Beyonce and Jay-Z, but they asses can't even maintain a black love relationship them damn selves. But they're over here feeding into what the celebrities or the gatekeepers is doing, which are really just puppets that they put here to distract us in the first damn place. And the reason why those puppets are effective is because that father has been removed from the household. So you remove the father from the household and you remove the father of the Most High. Who is guiding these people? Exactly.
For black women that you feel are like very like problematic and masculine and things like that, do you suggest or encourage therapy?
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
That definitely helps. I mean, because talking and communication is like the key to a lot of shit in this world. So if you ain't got no one to talk to, you ain't got nobody really listen to, or no one can talk to you or listen to you, it's difficult. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
but
It
I
keeps you
feel
locked
like
in.
they don't have no communication. Nobody listens to them.
That's true. You know what I'm saying?
A
But we
lot
gotta
of
get it
them,
out
nobody
there.
listens.
It's a fact.
They try to voice their opinions, try to voice themselves. Nobody listens.
Yeah.
They just think, oh, she's a problematic black girl. Oh, she's going through it. I'm not even a problematic black girl. I try to voice my opinion. People think I'm a problematic black girl. The other episode, I was reading the comments. I'm a problematic black girl because I'm holding someone down in jail. So if anyone that's black, they just voice us as being that.
Yeah,
No, but that is a
that's
thing
The,
with
that's the
women,
reputation
though.
black women have at this point.
Exactly.
And I mean, listen, they've done a really good job of painting us into that corner. I mean, they've already told you that black men are criminals, we're thugs, we don't take care of our children, we're in prison. And, I mean, how many people are really doing the independent research? I mean, I was always interested in that. But again, like I said, these are unique qualities you're not gonna find in most people, especially not in the hood. So I was always looking for definitive answers. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. As a child, I traveled a lot. I was in about 4 different countries by the age of 10. So I always understood that what they singing over here ain't the same song they singing over there. You know what I'm saying? The sensibilities over here ain't the same over there. A lot of people stay in the same fucking neighborhood growing up, so they have a very closed-minded view. So, and there's just a lot of misconceptions in the black community, man. When I listen, because I do listen to black women, by 80% of the shit that y'all say, y'all interpreting it wrong. For example, they'll say, man, brothers ain't checking for black girls. Really? Because the numbers say that over 88% of black men that are in relationships with black women.
Yeah.
Okay? Then they say, okay, when motherfuckers get money, they don't want black women. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Almost 90% of black millionaires are married to black women.
Dude, they just want
You see what I'm
you know
saying?
it is? They just
So
see,
that's
like,
the image they
athletes.
send you. Exactly.
They want
It's
the
the
cool,
athletes and the rappers.
The top level cool,
Right.
goddamn the ones.
But hold on, I can't hold that against them
I
because
get it.
black men as well as black women, we've been taught to look for swagger first.
Facts.
Okay, there's a lot of hardworking men that are invisible to young black boys. They're not interested in the construction workers. They're not interested in the contractors.
Super true.
They're not interested in those black men because they've been brainwashed to only focus on the ones that are cool
Right.
and they got the swag.
Yeah.
I mean, Fresh will tell you, you know what I'm saying? A lot of when they was trying to roast him online and they trying to ridicule him for his comments on black women, a lot of shots they were taking was based on the sports that he played.
Right.
So they telling him he's a sellout because he plays golf and he plays tennis. Let me tell you something. I was fortunate enough to go to good schools.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember
Exactly. If
that-
you're smart, golf is the
Yo,
Right.
I was always athletic, and I played pretty much every sport. Every sport that I could have played, I pretty much played. And what ended up happening is I was good at all sports, but I was really good at the sports that weren't popular in the quote unquote black community. So I would struggle with being great at tennis, but I didn't want to play tennis
Hell no.
because my niggas was making fun of me.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like baseball, my grandpa's wanted me to play baseball. He loved the Yankees, but again, in
ain't
the hood,
cool.
niggas was making
It's
fun
cool.
of me.
It's cool over everything.
Exactly.
What we were raised to be
That's the problem. It's cool over everything.
And
Right.
instant gratification over it. That took me a long time to understand. Like, okay, it's gonna take me 10 years for success. Lock down, go get it. Like that instant gratification keep a nigga locked
Yep.
in a fucking cycle of embarrassment, cycle of just looking like it. Like what people don't gotta what people gotta understand is people got a phrase called faking it to make it, right?
Yeah.
But that's the wrong phrase. The phrase is faking it to fake it. If you faking it to make it, you a fucking genius. That's what I did my whole life. And guess what I did? I made
They made it. Yeah.
Because I was faking it the whole time, looking like this nigga, right? I never looked different. But now I'm looking like this and I really got it all. So it's a mind state, like she said. You got to really imply what you're trying to really do. You got to really do that. Like people talk about, I want this and that, but what are you doing to get there? You see what I'm saying?
But let me ask you a question though. When you in the grind, right?
Right.
And you have that delayed gratification. Let's say you sign on for that.
Right.
You say, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in and I'm gonna wait to get it, right?
Hell yeah.
Do you feel, and this is personal, right? You ain't gonna speak for other men. You speak for yourself. Do you feel like there was a sister or there were sisters that would be with you and hold you down in the beginning stages when you're trying to work it out? Or do you feel like it's much easier to get that acceptance and that support and that validation from a non-black woman?
For me, every time it was a girl that I had a one white girl in the beginning, but every true girl that was by my side that gave me that encouragement was a black woman. Like I never had a problem with no black girls like that. They already understood what I was. They knew I was that one.
Say
You know
it
what I'm saying?
again.
So like every girl that I talked to or had around me that was black, they see me now, they're like, I knew what you was. And they was right. Even though I was taking their money and goddamn driving their cars and shit, but I really was trying to go do something. I wanted a nigga like, let me take your car, I go fuck another bitch.
yeah, exactly.
Take your car, goddamn, go hanging with my homeboys, eat goddamn hot chips all day and play goddamn John Madden. No, I'm really trying to go get my merch. I'm really doing that. You know what I'm saying? I really use their resources to my benefit.
Exactly. Okay.
I wasn't
Yeah, because
playing.
us as females, we're
They
there for
always held me
them.
down.
Always.
Black women
I ain't
held
have
me
that.
down.
Hold on. Tall guy, you're a different hair in a pound because you actually have someone in your life, right?
Crazy.
So tell us like how you were able to choose her over like the many, you could say.
I mean, really, she was God's sin. You know what I'm saying? She was perfect. My fiance, she's in the back right there. Jasmine Love.
Beautiful
Shout out to
black
her.
woman,
Love and Slim. Go subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, I think what she was talking about earlier was a huge thing too. It's like being black in America is hard, but being a black woman in America is even harder. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like we don't ever want to cut black women the slack that they deserve. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's harder than just being black in America. Being a black woman is even harder. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they never get the glory that they deserve. So that's huge.
So basically, a lot was said right there, but I think the most important thing to take from it all is that we need to be having these conversations. Within the black community, these conversations need to be had. The name calling needs to stop. All the infighting needs to stop. That shit is ridiculous. I mean, that is exactly what the heck they use to hold us back, right? So our entire culture is about self-hate. I'm sorry, but it is. Our women aren't gravitating towards the men that are doing the positive things. Everything is about being cool. Everything is about Gucci, Louis, Fendi, and all these non-black brands. You know what I'm saying? So we're always gonna be behind with that mentality because we always waiting on them to do something so that we can imitate or emulate it rather than just creating what needs to be created to benefit us within our own communities and our own neighborhoods. I mean, all I'm saying is that we need to work harder and we need to work together. So
Oh, this nigga drive with 2 hands on the steering wheel. Oh my God. My God damn. Like we so fucked up.
Right.
No one can even calculate this shit.
Yeah, but it's trained. We train that way. We train that way, man.
It's wild.
And
you know what I mean?
our women too, because listen, let me tell you something. Our women are trained to think that cooperation is weakness, right? Submission is a bad word.
Agreed.
And you look it up, all it means is you agree. You see what I'm saying? A lot of the definitions that we have for words is not the real definition, bro. It's what we've been told
Programmed.
a program to believe that that's what it means. So
Right.
the same way you're saying, like if you talk intelligent, you a fucking white person.
Right.
You talk like a white boy.
Now
So we've
that's
been
a-
trained to look at things
Right.
from that lens.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So the whole crabs in the bucket thing. The first time I heard that expression, I was a kid and I was fishing with my grandfather, and we had some crabs, man. We had a bunch of live crabs in the bucket. My grandmother was gonna cook them shits, and there was no lid on the bucket. And I'm over here panicking. I'm like, Dad, we gotta cover up this bucket. These niggas is trying to get out. And he's like, don't worry about it. I'm like, nah, look, they trying to get out. He said, relax. They ain't going nowhere. They're just like niggas. And I didn't get it. I was like, wait, nigga, I thought we was to say that word. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you with the men, you're allowed to do and say certain things. You can't
sure.
around the women. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to start throwing this N-word around all goddamn day. Right? So I'm like, niggas in the bucket, Dad? He like, yeah, they like niggas. And what he told me is that watch when one of them about to get out, one of them niggas gonna pull him back
Drag
down.
him down. Drag
You
him
ever
down.
see the movie The 24th?
The zombie shit?
No, it was a light-skinned nigga, and he was in the army. And we actually just watched it when we was coming back. It was, traveling on a plane.
Mexico.
And I watched it from Mexico, yeah. And the 24th, there was a light-skinned nigga, right? He's one just like, every other nigga that's all black, you know what I'm saying? But he got a little dilution in the blood, kind of like me, you know what I'm saying? And pretty much like he won with the people and for the people. And then pretty much he had to prove himself to his own people.
Exactly.
And you know what I'm saying? Like the shit he had to go through, it was crazy. And the white people were looking at him like, okay, you a good, median for niggas and white people, right? But then on the flip side, you know what I'm saying? The niggas is looking like, that's the one thing I talked about in my life story is you're always treading a thin line because to black people, you ain't black enough.
There you go.
Yeah.
To
You
white
said that
people,
earlier.
You too black.
you just a nigga.
You just a
You
nigga,
know what I'm
right.
saying?
You
So
like
you're
the nigga.
always stuck in a tough
man.
spot.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like piggybacking off what you said. It's like he was stuck in that tough spot, but it wasn't until he died by it that people, his own
Finally
people,
took him seriously. Yeah.
there you go.
Finally,
You know what I'm saying? That's just huge.
I mean,
man.
my mom went through that shit all through high school because like a lot of black women would try to hit me with that one. How they try to hit freshmen. You hate your mom. It's like so they try to hit me with that one. Like you don't date black women. Your mom is black. I was like, let me stop you right there, nigga. My mom's is half Chinese and half Jamaican. So let me stop you right there. But all through high school, she had it rough just simply because she was light skinned. Girls used to always pick fights with her and shit, try to find an excuse to fight her to beat her up just simply because she's light skinned.
Yeah, that's
Right.
You see what I'm
shit.
saying? They're attacking those qualities. My best friend is the same complexion as you. And he got the meanest motherfucking knuckle game. And
Oh,
the
that's this
reason
nigga the same
the
way.
reason why is
Yeah.
because they was testing him all through high
Same
school.
way with
They
this nigga,
constantly
man.
testing
Don't let them green eyes fool you, boy. That
That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Quick to
Yeah.
Stop him, man.
So yeah, basically that's what I was trying to say on my gender war and the race war is the same war. That's the point I was trying to make in that video. But of course, you got these whiny ass dudes that would rather bitch and moan and complain about racism than see the point. And the point was, stop being another crab in the bucket, bro. You see what I mean? That mentality right there is what's holding us back. That and not having the dads in the household, because what I see is blacks hurting blacks. Who's murdering the most black men? Other black men. Who's killing the most black babies? Black women with these abortions. So you got a culture of self-hate, and then you got the nerve to be upset when somebody tells you that white people aren't our problem. They're not.
Tapping on that crab in the barrel thing, like, what we gotta realize is that's true. Niggas is crabs in the barrels because they put us in the ghettos and shit. But the thing about it, we come from Africa. This whole world is ours. Crabs don't belong in the barrel. They belong in the ocean. So that's what we need to do. We gotta get our ocean back. So we don't gotta pull each other down. We got enough. It's enough.
Exactly.
We gotta realize it's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Look how y'all working together. Look
But-
how me and him
but-
were working together.
Yeah.
I will notice this, man, because my grandfather used to always warn me about these things. So many things he told me that I didn't start seeing until years later. There's still things that I'm starting to discover that my grandfather already hit me to long before he died. And one of the things he told me, he said, your biggest enemy in life is going to be other black men.
Bam.
And
Bam.
I'm telling you right now, I've seen it a million times.
okay.
There's so many times. I'll give you examples. Like, okay, a white boy could pull up, right? There could be a bunch of niggas outside chilling, whatever. A white boy could pull up, new Benz, pretty blonde chick in the passenger seat. He could hop out, go get something, get back in. They don't think nothing of it. Now, a black dude pull up with that same fucking Benz and that same fucking white bitch. It's a problem.
big
They
problem.
hating on him. Fuck this nigga right here. This nigga think he the shit. This nigga hasn't even said anything.
think he
is?
You see what I'm
Oh, we gotta
saying?
get him.
Right. So how come the white boy's allowed to have success? He allowed to have this little pretty white bitch,
Right.
but the black dude isn't.
Yeah, but you can.
You
Like,
know
the,
what I'm
most
saying?
scariest, the most scariest and most like ferocious thing in this world to be is a successful black man. Because
Everybody will take your head off.
Yep.
God damn,
And take your credibility.
The worst.
It's true.
The white folk, you can't. Every angle you attack, women,
Oh, yeah.
white, black, all women, you can't trust me. Scared to death of them. Niggas, white people, it's niggas.
Everybody
boy.
against you.
The world is on your neck, man. Because it ain't supposed to happen like
Yeah,
that.
and
So they
it's-
want to take it away from you by any means
But that's
necessary.
why women love it. That's why women love it.
Real quick,
Way to survive.
Go ahead,
I remember. Sorry, I remember.
it's cool.
Okay, so basically, we think like you think that you're not supposed to get good things. Like the whole example with like the white pretty girl.
Yeah, we're not
with her.
supposed to have it.
And just no. You're supposed to. I feel like everyone is obligated to think that they deserve. Oh, sorry. Am I it? Okay.
Yeah.
That they're deserving of. Everyone deserves a great life. I think everyone deserves a great life.
Right.
Off rip, you were born here. You should have the opportunity. So I just feel like because we have this mindset that we think, oh, we're not supposed to have it, that's why black men hate on other black men like that, because they think they're not supposed to have it. But that's a mindset.
No, you're right.
It just seemed like the more you like. I live in Los Angeles and niggas prey on niggas. Like you know what I'm saying? They're not breaking into white people's house. They're not trying to lay you down and rob a white dude like that. They get them. They do a little better job with it. Not salute them for doing that. Thank God. But me, they want all this. They want this.
And
they do whatever they can.
They don't want to see with it.
I got 1,000 guns in my house. I have to have that. I got to protect my shit like an army.
I'm sorry. So can we touch on one thing? But why though? 3.
I don't know, man. It's a shame.
Why
the way life is set up.
It's jealousy. It's jealousy.
And it's also we're programmed the wrong way. What does a nigga told not to do? If I do something to you, what you can't do?
I ain't gonna snitch.
There you go.
Yeah,
Why not come for this nigga? He can't tell on me. I'm gonna get him first.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nigga play on me. I'm telling him I'm gonna try to kill you. How about I'm doing both?
Say it again, Mr. Organic, and lean over and tell your boy Myron stop snitching. This dude be snitching on shit that people didn't even do, bro. This motherfucker snitch on you with a lie.
Attracted to Melanin Only. Finally, a show full of fine, intelligent black women. I love this show, and you guys are doing great. Thank you.
We love you too.
Panama.
We missed one 10.
Tan? Okay, yep, $24.99. I was talking about the girl Slim from last week when Frank was in the house. Oh, okay. He's talking about the girl that was okay, and then we got Matasuki, $20. When guys like me were in the library in college, only the Asian and white girls really paid me any mind. That's why you lose us when we get that money. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Black Wolf Inc. $20. Myron
That's
Fresh.
stereotypical.
Thank you for this panel.
That's the truth though.
No, it's the truth when it's in college. But when it's in the streets,
I'm in college.
But remember, you just said you're not the average girl.
That's true.
I didn't say average. I didn't say average.
No. You said yourself you're considered a white girl in most places. Think about this, right? Most African American women, they don't want the nerd on the block. They want the guy doing the, you know what I'm saying, the drugs, all that shit.
They want the nerd that got in. They ran through all the real
They
niggas.
want the
and they ran
ultra masculine.
Yes, me.
It's just not
I want them
impressive. I
hood.
don't know.
All right.
They
So,
want the ultra masculine.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
I want them hood.
So you want the hood?
That's why she over here crying in the goddamn corner.
So you were raised in hood.
That's the black word. That's the black word for masculinity, though.
all right, guys.
Yeah, it's not like I'm being
Let me,
offensive or anything.
real quick, guys, let me finish this, please.
Yeah.
Myron Fresh, thank you for this.
Chime in on that and say something that's true, and damn whoever don't like it. But yeah, it is difficult to get the support of black women as a black man. It is really hard, really difficult, especially if you're doing the right thing and you're doing what's going to take a little bit longer. If you're going the education route or the grinding, trying to build a business or whatever from the bottom up, all those type of things that aren't fast and flashy, you're going to have a hard time finding a beautiful black woman to stand by your side with all of that. And a lot of black men find that cooperation in non-black women. But I will say this, it's not because they're better women. That's not what I'm saying. And I think that's the excuse that black women hide behind when that's said. When black men voice that they get better response, reaction, cooperation, companionship, acceptance, value, or whatever from non-black women, the way black women take it is that they're trying to say white women are better. It's like, actually, no. I'm going to break down what's happening. The same way that I said black women have a habit of choosing what they see as the hyper masculine black man, which unfortunately in modern times usually translates to a thug, Pookie, Ray Ray, whatever you want to call it, the dope boys, the gangsters, the rappers, the ballers, whatever. That's who they go for because they see that as masculinity, right? They see that as dominant. Well, here's the thing. These white women, Asian women, Spanish women, whatever, they're giving black men a better, I don't know what you want to call it, you know what I mean? Just a more comfortable or pleasant experience or relationship or whatever, because they view black men as being hyper masculine just for being black. So I actually think it's not that white women are any better or Spanish women are any better. It's that black women and white women and Spanish women are they're all doing the same damn thing. They're going for the guy that they see as hyper masculine. But when you already are black, you're not going to see a black man as hyper masculine just because he's black. So he has to be a thug. He has to be a gangster. Okay, now it's more than the average black guy. Whereas the non-black women, just him being black is masculine enough.
Yeah, Mike, though, so
Have you guys ever dated a woman and gave her the space to be soft and vulnerable and, stuff like that? Have you either taught her or given her the
They
space to
should
do
already
so?
come that way though.
But what if they don't?
That's an issue.
That's an issue.
You don't date them.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
You don't date
I don't like no soft woman. Like I don't like. I'm raised on brutality and grind. I embrace the fuck shit of the world. Not like I don't. It's not like I want it, but that's part of it. This world is fucked up. So if you're so soft about everything coming to me, goddamn.
Well, no,
we got
But
to
like,
go
we're
crazy.
talking about
I mean,
vulnerability.
Oh, okay.
Like, she can't be vulnerable with you.
Oh, she can't talk about her in his truest feelings.
Right.
Yeah, you give me all that.
Insecurities,
She's not gonna be
fears.
a
Yeah, but I was just talking about the grind, like, about,
Right.
it's coming down.
Femininity.
Say no.
AKA
You better-
feminine.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Woman, she's supposed to be comfortable with a man and give him everything that she got inside of her. You know what I'm saying? Mind, body, and soul. A nigga deserve all that.
Right.
All
Okay.
three of them.
I got a
But
question.
you can say it all, but you got to be able to retain it and then be able to reciprocate it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
can't
That's a
get that
very
back.
that's a very big part.
I just
you know
take
what I'm saying?
Ladies, question for
I
y'all,
got
right?
a question too.
Hold on, real quick. Question for y'all. What do you look for in a guy? And I'll say the other side of it.
Respect.
What turns you off about a guy when you meet him for the first time? So we'll start here. So what do you look for, and then what
I
turns you
was
off
just
completely?
thinking, okay.
Okay, and then talk.
Okay.
Talk to the mic.
Imagine it's a big black penis.
Oh, shit.
She's not interested in that. She's like, oh my god.
Yes.
Anyways, what I look for,
They don't bite.
Shit. Yeah, two hands, and a lot of spit. Man.
Can I please answer the question in
didn't see
peace?
the-
That's my
Hey, control freaks, sell us some toys, man.
Control freak.
Control freaks, sell us a starter kit.
Step up.
anyways, okay. What I look for, honestly, the way you approach me is like the first thing I kind of go for. I guess like what catches my attention, and then I guess to like keep me, around. Attention, not like attention like all the time, because honestly, I don't like being bothered a lot. I don't like texting a lot and all that stuff. But like just attentive, like of just little things, like if I say something bothers me, you fix it right away. Financial. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, my parents worked hard to get to where they're at, so it wouldn't make sense for me to go back down. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I'm gonna be straightforward with that.
I like that. I like that.
They got it bad. Shit.
So I'm curious, how much a year?
Shit.
Well, they have a business. They have several businesses, so they don't really. It's like
No, he's
monthly.
asking you how
How much
much.
your man
Yeah,
gotta have?
Oh, the
Yeah.
man. I want him to also have the mindset of my parents as well. But honestly, don't mind like building up to that. Just as long as like I see like
The
the
mindset.
potential, the mentality.
You
Ambitious.
stuck on this
Huh?
mindset.
It's the
Ambitious.
mindset for
Ambitious,
me.
yes. If you don't have the ambition to like
Growth
wake up in the
mindset is not
morning.
giving.
Hey, ladies, if someone's talking, let him talk, okay?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. But yeah, that's like what I look for. It's just kind of same mindset. I mean, I'm not really big on. I personally attract guys that are bigger. I guess I like bigger guys. I don't know. And then
What turns you off?
Yeah, I was about to get to it.
That right
I
there
don't
fresh.
I don't like cockiness. I don't like. Although I say I look for a guy like financially, like good. I don't want like him to be showy about it, or like think he's better than anyone, or like belittle anybody, because I don't want him to give those same traits to my children. Every time I think of a guy, I'm thinking of my children.
Long term.
Like what we're So I just anything that wouldn't be like a good father figure look is a turn off.
Okay.
For me, yeah.
Yo, Myron, you
Yeah.
want to answer that, or are you good?
No, I'm just listening very intently.
Okay, we'll lose you.
I don't like complainers at all
fresh.
because I feel like you
Yeah.
can either fix it or you can't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you can fix it, there's no need to continue
Being
to
broke
complain
is a
about
mindset.
it. And
Right.
if you can't fix it,
Yeah.
then why are we complaining about it?
If I'm a voice
That's how I feel about
if I'm a voice a problem to a woman, it's gonna be something that I can delegate a task to her so she can be helpful in solving this fucking problem. If I don't
Right.
see a way that she could solve said problem, she probably won't know this problem even fucking exists. I'm gonna be honest
Yeah.
with you.
And
Okay,
the
but that's
point.
fair.
If I can put it a
Yeah,
task, what's the point?
Myron made a video about this on TikTok. Could you kind of go into it a little bit, Myron, about why you shouldn't do this?
I want to listen to all the ladies' opinions first before I talk about give my opinion. Okay.
Before he was incarcerated,
was friends, though.
he was always friends with me, always doing good for me.
Friends.
Friends, exactly.
Yeah, because I've never wanted to
Why
be.
you do it for-
I'm
Yeah,
not
Yo, yo, hold on. No. Yo, hold on.
I can wait.
Because women seem to not understand this. All right, for the ladies here at the table.
Yes.
Let's say I call you over 3-4 times a week, right? We have sex. As soon as we're done, I tell you got to leave.
I'm leaving.
My God.
We can't. We're not gonna get nothing to eat. We're not gonna talk. Nothing.
TV
How'd that
don't
make
come
you
on
feel?
nothing.
How'd that make you feel?
I'm never going over.
I wouldn't feel good
I'm
about
never
it.
going back.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
notified.
Hold on.
This happened 4 times.
Yo. Ladies. I'm
Four
just
times.
asking.
We know what's going on here.
Just answer the question simply, okay? Okay, you would feel stupid. Why? Because
We'll feel like we
I'm
know the
using you.
vibes.
I'm using you for sex. That's exactly how men feel when you friend zone them.
Maybe we're using you for
Can you?
sex.
Can you?
No, hold on.
No. It doesn't work that way.
Hold on.
It doesn't
Sorry,
work that way.
Myron.
If you use me for sex,
She belongs to the streets.
if I use you for sex, it's a whole nother thing because I have to earn sex. You guys just get it for free. So what I'm trying to say is this: if you friend zone a guy, that is the same as me having sex with you and never giving you my non-sexual attention, not taking you out for food, not talking to you, nothing. That's me kicking you out. The thing is this: most guys don't have the balls to tell a chick, "I'm not fucking with you anymore unless we have sex." They will sit there and wait in the cut, try to play the long game, whatever it may be.
Fuck other pussy on the side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got lucky where.
So I'm just gonna finish up pointing out some more of Myron's sensitivities, his insecurities. You see how he's like, guys, can you guys stop cutting me off and let me finish this? he really was uncomfortable this entire episode. He really was. But anyway, if you want to see all the points made in the whole discussion, obviously just go watch the damn episode. It's a long-ass episode. I took as much of it as I felt like it. So go ahead and copyright claim me or whatever the hell you want to do. But yeah, he really didn't want to have this episode. He didn't want to be upstaged. And it was actually the last episode that I did with them. And I knew it was going to be shortly after. As soon as it wrapped up and I read all the comments, I was like, yeah, Myron is not, his fragile ego is not going to be able to survive the way that this interview is viewed and seen, because the comments were all like, oh, this was the best interview, this was so meaningful, this conversation needed to be had. And also you had a lot of comments like, yo, Allende makes a great host and he knows how to talk to the women, he knows how to interact with the women. Because first of all, this is a conversation that a lot of people have a hard time seeing it being had, simply because black women are notorious for being, you know, I guess uncooperative or whatever the case may be, or for having these type of attitudes. And I think that I pursued it in the right way, and I think I spoke to the women in the right way to avoid that, because I knew that was going to be a concern, is that we weren't going to be able to tell the truth without offending them, and it would turn into a fight, an argument, or whatever. And that's what I was trying to avoid, and I think that's what Myron was banking on. What Myron wanted was that controversial argument, that drama, that kick out, and he didn't get it. He was trying for it. You're going to see in the next clip. He was trying many times, reaching for it, but he wasn't able to provoke the women. And I wasn't having it, man. I don't want to have discussions with women where my goal is to provoke them. That's pointless. The goal is to get an understanding both ways, right? For us both to learn something, both understand something. And if women are so confused and they have such, you know, backwards ass thinking, and they're programmed with all these non-productive ideologies, it's on the guys to figure out how to get through to them. It's on us to figure out how to communicate with them. It's like, listen, I'm not your enemy, and what I'm saying is true. I'm not saying it to hurt your feelings. I'm actually saying it to save you the headache that's coming for you later on when all of these issues come to a head and it's too late for you to make a change. You have to make a change when you're young. So majority of women are heading down the wrong path. That's just what it is. And the guys, we ain't doing that much better either. But we got to do better before we can help them do better. So that's what that is. It ain't about hating women. It's about getting women to conform to what's healthy and productive for both men and women. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is.
Yo, can you guys stop interrupting me?
Yeah.
Please?
Sorry.
Like, I haven't even talked much of the show, but like, it's like, damn, like the little bit I'm saying, you guys keep cutting me.
Now let it out.
The point is that it's disrespectful for you to friend zone a guy, and if you do friend zone a guy, it's just like him smashing you, kicking you to the curb. It's just that it's politically incorrect for a man to do that to a woman, but it's completely politically correct for a woman to do it to a man. Mm-hmm. For example, we have something called a foodie culture, where women are openly using a man's time and resources, and it's completely acceptable. How many girls went out on dates with dudes you knew you were never gonna smash?
Myron didn't talk much that episode because he didn't have anything to bring to the table. He doesn't really have much original or new shit or new thoughts or groundbreaking perspective to bring to any freaking conversation. It's all just repeated talking points, majority of which are from other people any damn way. But yeah, man, this guy acts like he's reading from the Red Pill Bible. Everything has to be definitive. Everything is this way and only this way. Everything is... But anyway, you know, it's the same talking points, same analogies, same ways to trigger the girls. And he was frustrated because this episode, it wasn't working, man. It wasn't working. I think these black women appreciated being in a room full of black men that were trying to talk to them, not at them. And I think that there is a way to work together and get through, but it has to be something that is being promoted, you know, 360. You know, there has to be plenty of black men that are strong, you know, interesting, respectable, smart, intelligent, that are making this conversation trendy and making women want to have this dialogue and this back and forth. And unfortunately, women have to like the guy. They have to like him. They have to respect him in order to want to have the conversation. That's just what that is. So when you're coming at him like how Myron is coming at him, it's never ever going to work, because with chicks, it's all about how you say it, and it's all about who's saying it. You guys know that. You guys know that's what it is. So let's just try to let's try to be a little bit more open-minded in the future, guys. All right, so I'm out of here on this one. Go watch the whole damn episode and quit calling me a white apologist, because I don't apologize for nobody.
So that's why I say men and women are very different how we show love. That's how a man shows love. So for me, for a girl to get that love, she's got to provide a lot of value outside of just sex, because I know as a man I have to bring way more fucking value than a woman does. And if you guys want to complain and be like, oh, that's not true, you're a misogynist. All of you guys want a guy that makes more money than you, taller than you, is successful, confident, etc. You want a guy, you're not looking for an equal, even though women won't say that. It's all fucking cap. Women look for a superior when they date. So if you guys want to date a superior, then I'm gonna act as such. I'm gonna go around and sleep with other girls, but you're gonna get the security and provisioning from me as a man, because I'm the leader. That's the way the world works. You know what I'm saying? Men lead,
simple. Hips were not built to handle pressure. A man's shoulders is what's built to handle that pressure and to lift that burden. We Atlas. Y'all not Atlas. We holding up the fucking globe. Right now, we ain't even got our hands on the globe. You see what I'm saying? So that's that white supremacy that y'all keep using as a scapegoat. All it is is that white men are in a position of leadership in their community so they can hold up the world. Do you understand what I'm saying? For their women. And white women is fucking that up too. They run around destroying their own shit too. So the agenda that we got going on is not a racial agenda. The difference is that whatever they're gonna do to the masses, they do it to black people first. They came in our communities and they saw, see, a lot of people don't know what our history is really about. Y'all know the KKK existed, but y'all don't know why. The KKK wasn't about racism. There was already white people telling you, fuck you, nigger, you can't walk on the side of the street, can't use this restroom. We already had that. So why was there white men that had to wear fucking masks and hide their face to show their racism? What was the KKK doing? They was burning down black infrastructure. They was burning down black banks, black schools, black churches. Because what they were trying to do, right? Because we were making too much fucking progress. Why were we making so much goddamn progress so fast? Because we had our men in a position of leadership, and we had our women following in line. We had our women,
black leaders they killed.
We had our women raising our children. We had black teachers for black children. We had black schools for black. So they couldn't teach us those white lies because the people teaching our children were black. When black people got sick, they went to black doctors. When they bought their food, they bought it from black supermarkets. So segregation was the best fucking thing that we had. When they ended segregation, they fucked us up. Because now we have to be implemented into a white society where we're at the bottom, whereas in a black society, there was no bottom, there was no top. What determined whether you at the top or the bottom of your society was how hard you worked. And the cohesiveness of your family and your community is what determined your status within the black community, not your fucking skin color. So the moment that they desegregated us, now we're automatically at the bottom, regardless of our work ethic. Okay, regardless of how hard we work as a family, we're already at the bottom because we implement into they fuck shit. And this society don't even make any goddamn sense. This shit's ass backwards, right? And now what they're doing is contaminating our women with their fucking morals, their thought process, which isn't doing us any justice. And you can see that because anytime dark-skinned people come from other cultures, they're doing much better than us. Why? Because they are not following the dominant society's view. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're keeping their way of doing things intact, and it's working for them. Our history was working for us. Through slavery, after slavery, during slavery, prior to slavery, black families was always working. That system was always working. It wasn't until we separated the black male from the black female that we started experiencing these fucking problems. You go back to the 40s and 50s and you look how black men dressed. Suits. Debonair. These guys was fly. They were poor, but they were fly and they had pride in themselves and in their community. Right. When you run through black communities, there wasn't no litter. There wasn't no crime. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that's the time when black people loved each other. So love is always going to start between a man and a woman. That's where it's going to start. From that comes family. From that comes community. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the attitude that y'all have, that within itself is holding us the fuck back. Because what amazes me about the modern woman, and this is black, white, any color, what amazes me about the modern woman is y'all sit here and fight men that are older than you, more experienced than you, more successful than you, wealthier than you, stronger than you, taller than you, bigger than you, travel to more countries than you, and y'all have the nerve to look motherfuckers in the face and tell them they don't know what they're talking about. You 20, I'm 40. You 20, I'm 40. You know what I'm saying? You 20, I'm 40.
You know what?
That nigga talks the pure shit in the world.
And to piggyback off of that whole saying the future is feminine or whatever, like I hate that saying because it's like rating.
But it's the truth.
They forecast. Say this.
And
you gave that was excellent. But I'll say this: the ladies checked out. So I'm just gonna keep it very simple and ask the ladies that disagree with me one question. Name one matriarchy that existed that has stood the test of time.
What does that mean?
Super chat.